First off, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this. Thank you for the Commonwealth for putting this together, as well as the Berea College student government. The major issues, in my opinion, that Berea faces over the next few years are three-pronged. We have to make sure that we continue to grow our industrial park. We have an industrial park that's been doubled in size, and we need to continue to work towards filling that. Retail growth and retention is something that we have to focus on. Small businesses are at the heart of Berea, and we have to continue to make sure that we grow our economy so that we are viable as a small town. And the last thing is really an issue that covers the gamut, but it's continuing to make Berea a family-friendly environment. One of the things that I've always loved about Berea is that it's a wonderful place to grow up. I have deep roots in Berea. I was born here, raised here, and that's very important to me. The second thing is it's a great place to raise your family. As a father of a 2-year-old, it's very important to me to continue those things, and that is working with the police and working with the Madison County Sheriff's Office to make sure that we are making the decisions that cultivate a family-friendly environment for our city so that we are a beacon where small towns are sort of faltering in our state. Thank you.
Yeah, my name's Hubert Chastain Jr. And I think that I know we have to take care of the status quo, but we need to be a little bit bolder than that. There's not too many factories and things being built. Berea needs to take care of the interstate that runs through here. We got people that's coming through here and they're not stopping, and we need to come up. And what I've thought about, and I've even talked to our magistrates and representatives and all of them, and they've all agreed that it's in Berea's in need of a civic center where that we can have indoor activities 12 months out of the year, regardless of the weather. And that'd be a big boost to the local economy and for the arts and crafts and the motels, restaurants. And that's one thing. And where I've been in the building business, if I'm elected, I'll lay the groundwork to get this project started. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I agree with I'm Vi Farmer. I'm a 1961 graduate of Berea College. I taught at the Berea Community School for 29 years. Some of the most amazing students imaginable. Read hundreds of them over the course of 29 years. Some of them are in the audience tonight. And I agree with what Steve said about our economic picture. We need to work on our business and our industry. I did do a little checking, and currently we have about 3,600 employees at the industrial park. And that's really amazing for a town this size, I think. But we need to work on retention of the businesses that we have and develop new ones, especially commercial, I think. Another thing that I'm very interested in is a retirement complex, for fear of showing my age, but it's getting very close to my heart. I think a community center is another thing that's needed, and we are mandated, not funded, but mandated to do a major stormwater drainage system, and that's going to be a major expenditure for the city. There are a lot of things that we have on the drawing board that have to be done quickly, I think, and soon.
Thank you.
I'm Denise Hagan, and I really do thank you all for having us tonight, giving us the opportunity to ask questions and kind of get to know who we are. I retired from state government in 2012. I was state director for the federal child nutrition programs. Prior to that, I worked with the Department for Local Government on community development block grants like housing, water, sewer. And then I was privileged enough to serve on the city council from 2006 to 2008. so I have a little bit of an idea of how it works. But the thing that I think that our city needs to focus on are local businesses. I see that first and foremost. I'm so appreciative of our industries and our manufacturing. 23% of our population works in the manufacturing sector. And so we really need to grow the local businesses to help us become a sustainable community, because there are a lot of things that we need that we can't get here. We have to go somewhere else. We need local restaurants, we need local grocery stores. We used to have one a long time ago, which was pretty awesome, but you know, now we're kind of held hostage by Walmart. So, but we really do need to think about those things. I also think that we need to think of green technologies and to get more into healthcare and more highly skilled jobs, because that will provide a higher wage for our workers. But then this is the other thing, we need to get back to our identity. We are known as the folk arts and crafts capital of Kentucky. Paducah is coming right along. They call themselves the Crafts and Folk Art City.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Robert Johnson, and I want to thank you guys out there for having us here. I've lived here in Berea now 26 years. My wife and I own a cab company and a ceramic store in Broadway and a Greyhound bus station. But I think I meet a lot of people in my travels with the cabs all over. And most of them are saying basically the same thing. We need businesses, the economy is weak. We need to increase what we can on the outer structure of the new bypasses that's coming in. I've heard rumors that we've lost about 20, 25 businesses in the last 8, 10 years. And we need to build it instead of losing it. But that's what I think would help Berea most, if we could get the economy back up, get people back to work, and work for a little more than minimum wage, because it's tough out there in the old world today. Luckily, I had a pretty good job when I retired, so I don't have to live off of what I make with a cab. So I want to thank all of you for having us here, and I'll pass this to Diane.
Thank you.
My name is Diane Kirby, and I'm completing my second term as a city council member, long-term resident of Berea. Feels like a lifetime. And again, thank you all for having this forum. I think there are several major challenges for Berea. Keeping our existing industry, diversifying our economic base. We depend very heavily upon our industrial base. We need to diversify that base. We need to develop and grow more local businesses. We need to support entrepreneurial efforts. We have a lot of quality of life issues that need to be addressed. So in short, we need to work on our essential services, broadening our economic base while facing new challenges such as the mandated stormwater regulations and the 911, again, essential services, but also helping the community grow. I think one of the biggest challenges that we face is how can we work together collaboratively, getting more citizen input, getting more citizens involved in helping us all solve the problems. No, you just talk.
You don't have no problem with that, do you?
Whenever you're ready.
Hello, I'm Jerry Little. I'd like to thank the
You
student.
just have to hold it up. There you go.
Hello, I'm Jerry Little. I'd like to thank the student body and the Kentuckians for the Commonwealth. And I'd like to thank all the people that's come out. You know, I'm glad to see the turnout. It's makes you know about your town. The issue that I see that's facing the city is keeping our infrastructure up to date so we can retain our manufacturing and business, community, and city services, so we can keep jobs for our citizens while keeping our expenses in line with our revenue without having to raise taxes. How I feel we can do this is with good leadership, making sure we have a good budget with a good reserve for the rainy day fund. And I think Berea's a great place. I hope everybody just gets out and votes.
Thank you.
Chester Powell, I agree.
That's good, Jim.
I'm married. My wife been on 45 years. We have 3 children. All 3 graduated here in Berea. And we have 2 grandchildren still going to school. I'm a Vietnam combat veteran, and I've been in business in Berea since I got out of the hospital in 1971, out of Veterans Hospital. That's about 43 years. I attended East Kentucky University, graduated from Police Academy at Richmond. I served on the city council for not the last 14 years, but I had a break there. For 14 years, most of that time I served as a chairman of the Public Works Committee, kept streets up and all that, and also served on the Personnel Committee. I served on the Madison County Airport Board for about 8 years, which is very important to us now industrial-wise. And I also serve on the Citizens Advisory Board, Bluegrass Army Depot, disposed of dirt gas, Greg and Miss Kirby here. And I feel with my experience there, I can help Berea go on into a safe, growing Berea in the future. One of our biggest problems here is drugs, and I guarantee I'll put all the money I can into law enforcement if I can to help fight drugs. Our next big problem is water, storm water drainage. When we build 25 North, all that water's gonna go down to Dixie Park, and we're really gonna have a water problem. So a lot of that stuff is our future problems. Don't blow it home.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Phil Smith. I'm an Eastern Kentucky graduate from 1984 in radio and television, and done a couple of tours of duty with WLEX and kind of plugged into the community through the media. I think the biggest three problems that I see by far, I think everybody agrees, they're jobs first and foremost. It's retaining good jobs for people to keep the quality of living here. And part of that is also having a healthy business community, because if you have a healthy business community, you have jobs. I think the greatest natural resource that we have in Berea that is very untapped is the stream of traffic going up and down I-75 every day and passing us by. And I think that my media background, for one thing, that screams at me that we need to do a better job of getting those people to pull off and support all of the businesses. I think that the arts, that Berea is known for the arts throughout this region, and I think it's great to support the arts, but I think that we need to support all of the businesses, and that our tourism commission could do more to perhaps get those dollars to come past the bypass and into town. I think that we would have a healthy community. I think another issue to address jobs in the business community, you are addressing drugs, because when there's a lack of economic opportunity for people, it makes that a little bit more tempting to fall out of the mainstream and to do things to make money that I don't think anybody in here would support. I think the third issue that I see that no one's talked about yet is water. Because if we want businesses to come to Berea and have a healthy business community and expand that business community, we're going to overrun the water resources, and money needs to be budgeted to take care of that.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Katie Startzman. I came to Berea in the mid-90s to attend Berea College, and then I just stayed. So I'm happy to be here, and this is my first time running for City Council. I am a knitwear designer and author, and so one of the things I'm particularly interested in is cultivating and maintaining Berea's legacy of being the arts and crafts capital of Kentucky. I am also distressed by the fact that current members of City Council do not support the Arts Accelerator program, and they in fact voted against passing the city budget because of the city's support of the Arts Accelerator program. I think that project indicates really exciting direction for the city to be heading. We need to be cultivating and growing the talent and skills we have from our residents and our Berea College students and the kids who are graduating from high school, and creating opportunities for folks in our town so that people don't have to move to Paducah or Asheville to find exciting creative opportunities. So there are other significant issues that folks have already covered, more related to essential services and that kind of thing, but my bias is towards creative fields and our character as a city, and I think it's really important to maintain it because I feel like we're resting on our laurels in some cases, and we need to do more to cultivate and grow that.
Thank you.
Hi y'all, how's everybody doing tonight? Hi. My name is May Cermak, and I am running for City Council for the first time as well. I believe that Berea is at the brink of progress. I believe that our leaders and our community members are faced with a really challenging decision on whether or not we are going to join the rest of the world when it comes to issues like civil rights and equality, when it comes to issues like sustainable communities, when it comes to issues like energy efficiency, creating local economies that attract people to want to come and visit and encourage people to want to come and stay, all while not neglecting the 25% of Bereans that currently live below the poverty level. I believe that together, that we need to come together to address these. I have a whole list of issues that I think Berea faces, and you've probably seen them in the KFTC survey, ranging from tourism to transportation and smart growth and substance use. But I think that unless we come together and decide on whether or not we want to progress, that none of those things are going to happen. We might as well just wear our red shirts and blue shirts and sit on opposite sides of the aisle and attend our spoon bread festivals once a year and drive to Lexington to have our wine with our meal, but not much is going to get done. And if I become a city council member, one of my very first items of business would be to bring together Bereans to the table, especially the ones who don't agree with me, and to work together to try to figure this stuff out. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Ronnie Turrell. I'm on the city council now. I'm retired from Lexmark, IBM after 38 years. I'm traveling back and forth to Lexington. And yes, we need jobs in Berea to keep local people here. But when I come up, I have to go to Lexington to get a good job. But three main things I think is 911. Funding for 911 is a major issue facing us, and hopefully we can work with the county and Richmond to come up with a solution. The other thing is stormwater. Stormwater, actually, we don't know. We know we got to do it. We don't know exactly what all we got to do, but we don't have funding for it. And next thing we're going to be talking about is what kind of funding are we going to set up? Now, long-term thing is actually the lake, more water. In fact, I just left a meeting before I come here about water tonight. And that is a long-term project that we've got to be working on. The other thing is actually, we've got to think about what's going to happen when the nerve gas is done. That is a problem that we've got to look at long-term. 2023 is going to be here, and we better have a plan. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Billy Wagers, and I'm currently on the council also. I agree with everything everybody said. Most of these things require money and vision, and I think we need the vision of what we want this town to be. May alluded to that. There seems to be a disconnect between people and red shirts, blue shirts, Berea College town people. And I think we need to work on that as best we can. The funding that Ronnie was talking about is in the millions of dollars, 6 on one and 4 on the other one, and more to come. And the main concern of the city council to start with is the budget, and that's what we have to keep strong. We have to be careful where we're going to put our resources. We cannot spread it around to where nobody benefits, and we have to be very, very careful and diligent about how we spend the city's money. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One other thing. There's two big issues here, alcohol and fairness are those two. And you know where I stand on fairness. I voted for it, and if we could get some sort of alcohol or moist in this town, that would help the finances that Ronnie's talking about. We need the money for. So, there you go.
Thank you.
I'm Major Woodman, and thank you for inviting us all here.
Can't hear you.
Can you hear? Yeah. All right, so I've worked for over 30 years for Kentucky River Foothills and a related institution as a administrator and finance director. And my job was to bring services to the city of Berea and in surrounding communities. And we worked with the kids in Head Start and with the older folks and senior citizens, and provided the transportation such as the local bus service. And while I agree with all the folks who have talked about business and the industrial park and bringing more tourists off of I-75, I think that our budget and our city council's policy enshrined in our ordinances should be to reflect our values in the older people and in the younger people in Berea by providing services to the elderly with a senior center, with a senior living center, with pathways and walkways for the young children, with safe parks, reaching out into the other neighborhoods that also need these services so people don't have to drive swiftly out of town. And finally, I think that this city needs to welcome all persons into Berea and respect the dignity of each individual.